Okay, so you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, last class we talked about how to create role hierarchy. So, why do we create hierarchy? What is the important with that? So basically, we can use it for reporting sake, and also we use it for the sharing. And public groups also, I mean, we can use it for sharing and various, I mean, sharing settings, and also you can add role hierarchy, I mean, any role, all our role and subordinates, or even public group, another public group. One public group can be added to another public group, and we can use it that way. I mean, those are the main things we touched, and then we have seen how to extend the record sharing. So we have seen how to do the sharing using roles, using account team, opportunity team, and basically with various ways of sharing. And all the sharing would come in because of the company has any requirement saying, okay, if one user or some users shouldn't be seeing some data. So, I mean, shouldn't be either seeing the data or shouldn't be editing the data. That's where we need to start our sharing settings. And we start with organization-wide settings. Typically, we call that as OWD. And once you restrict OWD, so you need to find a way to expand the sharing. Because company may need to, I mean, different users may need different access. And not only record level, so sometimes we may have requirements on the field level saying, okay, this field, so-and-so person or so-and-so team or so-and-so profile shouldn't be seen. So that's where we control that using field level security. And that one, the acronym is FLS. And then, so we have seen how to troubleshoot the record access. So if, I mean, typically you get requests saying, okay, hey, I'm not able to access this record, I'm not able to access so-and-so account. And typically you log in as that user and make sure, okay, you cannot, that user cannot see. And then when you go to that record as system admin, you will have access to that record, because typically for system admin, the system admin profile has modify all access. Modify all means basically you can see all the objects and you can edit all the objects. So that's why you get by default all the access to all the records. And since you have access to the record, you can simply go to that record, and even if you hit sharing, and you see, okay, what are various ways that record has been shared and why that particular user is not having access. And then you find a better way to give access. So that is very important. I mean, you cannot give the access. Let's say if you just give the user access by record sharing, and some other team member would come with same requirement saying, okay, hey, I'm not able to see, I'm not able to see. And that's where you need to strike that balance. And you don't want to give a lot of extra access when there is a record issue comes in. So you expect that some other users may have similar issue, and how you solve it, whether you give it by role or whether you do it through some other mechanism. So those are the things as an admin you find a better way, not only fixing the problem. Okay, so any questions there? So if not, I think we can move on to the next topic. So module 5. So basically here we talk about the object customization. So by default, when the org, the one that we created, so it came with some standard objects. When I say standard objects, it came with account, contact, opportunity, lead, and a few other objects. And the business might say, okay, hey, I have some requirement. Maybe can you add some, can you change the field name? Or can you add some picklist values to the standard field and those things? That is the administering standard fields. Even though Salesforce by default gives you some field, you may have some requirements saying, okay, in your business, the same thing should be called with a different name. So that's where you need to change some field labels and those things for the standard fields. So then, even though on standard objects like account, contact, opportunity, and maybe any other objects that came with the org creation, sometimes on the standard objects, you may want have needs to add some custom fields. So basically adding additional fields to the same table kind of thing. And those are the common requirements. I mean, then sometimes, I mean, not all the fields are just text fields. In Salesforce, you have Picklists and Lookup. And when I say Lookup, basically building some relationship to other objects. So, and you may have some requirements, okay, to add more lookups or some Picklist values. Those you will be handling on a daily basis. And sometimes, I mean, when we create a field, someone has to populate values. And you may have some requirements automatically. Let's say I'm on account or contact, and I want to get some information on a contact by looking at account information. So, so let's say you are on a contact and you want to get account revenue, how much account revenue it is bringing from. So you are sitting on a contact page, but you want to see some extra information from account. So those are some times where you use formula fields. So that is called cross-functional, cross-object formula. And even on the same object itself, let's say if the account has $10,000 revenue from the company, and you say, okay, that one is a gold customer. And if the account has maybe $1 million, that one you want to call that one as a platinum customer at that time. So if you simply want to show some information based on some values of the same object, at that time you create some formula fields and you show that. So for formula fields, you don't need to maintain it. Automatically system will calculate and show it to you. So, and we will see all of this. And sometimes they say, okay, as a sales user, I don't want to see this field on my app when I am looking at it. And when I'm contact center agent, I want to see some different information. So these are very common requirements that comes from business. Basically, you are showing the same record, but you want business expect different flavors of the same record. So at that time, I mean, you don't want to put all the information and throw it at customer, and they expect, okay, a little bit of I mean, whatever the information that is good enough for them, so they want to see it. That's where we work with page layouts, basically moving the fields upside down kind of thing. So, and also not showing some fields, I mean, showing the fields that business wanted for that function. And sometimes they say, okay, hey, I don't want to see this field. I mean, maybe some Picklist values I want to see differently, even though its field is same. So those are the types. The Salesforce has a way to handle those same record, different values in Picklist and all. So that is called a record type. We will look at that one also in the next slides. And maintaining data quality. So basically for any organization, so maintaining data quality is very critical. And if you throw a screen for 100 users and ask them to maintain something, and everyone is going to maintain in a different ways. So you want to make sure whatever the information that the company needs it. So you have to, it is your job or our job as an admins to make sure the users are entering that data. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of garbage data. Let's say if we are creating a contact and without an email and phone number, I mean, creating a contact doesn't make much sense. Let's assume that scenario. So how do we force the user to maintain that information? So let's say, I mean, if a seller is creating some contact, and we need to force them to enter that information. Otherwise, we don't even let them save that information. I mean, if we don't force this data quality, we will let users to create a lot of garbage data. And sometimes, I mean, everybody enters data a little differently, and we want some standards. That's where the pick list values and other things will come in, and they can only select from a set of values that are predefined at that time. So the chances of them entering some wrong data or confusing data is going to be less. So those are the data quality ones that we are going to see. And I mean, for those of you, anyone worked on software designs or any software courses that you have seen taken, this is very common design pattern in any software. I mean, not only Salesforce, any web application that you create. I mean, this is very common thing. MVC paradigm, that's what they call model, view, controller. Model is the one where you define fields and all, and view is where you show the fields on the user interface, basically any web application or browser. And if you want to control any behavior between, I mean, you expose a button, and when you click on the button, what is going to happen? Somebody is saying something. Yeah, so I mean, that's where if you want to add any business logic, that's where the controller would comes in. And I mean, when we are doing any developer course, we may get into a lot of details. The reason why I brought up this one, so we are going to work heavily on the model view, and there is a little bit of controller thing that we do using some actions and all as an admin also. I mean, just want to give you a slide here explaining about model view controller concept, and this one is very common design pattern in any software language. And on the here right hand side, basically this small screen, so this is where the admins would go set up the data, and you see all these fields. We are creating a lot of fields. I mean, this is nothing but this model, basically. I mean, here this is a account object. Basically on the account object you are adding some fields, and that is the model. And here you see all these fields. I mean, we create this account currency, account name, and account owner, all these fields, and those fields we expose to the layout. So on the layout, when you are showing, this is the view. So that is this guy, basically layout. I mean, the standard page layout. We also create some custom lightning components where we see, okay, hey, this view is not good enough for me, so I want some fancy view. At that time, we use the Visual Force pages and lightning components, and the view, whatever I mean, by default, Salesforce only allow you to create this kind of view, but they give you option to expose the custom way by using these pages. Usually, you need to leverage some developers for that one. And when you click on some button or something here, so what is going to happen? That is the controller job. Okay. So, I mean, before I go, any questions here? So again, so let's go on our charter. So find some requirements and work off of those requirements. That's how we were doing all along. And let's continue that. So here there is a charter post that came from UCO that says, okay, my sales operation team uses account rating field for sales prospecting, but they are concerned that account owners are not capturing this information correctly because they don't understand what it is for. So I have the following questions. Can we change the name of the field to prospect rating? And can we provide guidance on how to use it? Can we add another value not known? And can we restrict editing so just sales reps and sales operations? So now let's look at the system. I mean, this is VS Code that typically developers use to write any development. And for me, so to launch the browser, I typically use this guy. I mean, I save a lot of args here, and whatever the arg that I want, one time I save the password, and I can always bring that one easily. So that is what I'm doing right now.
Hey Srikanth, Karthik here. Hey, could you please explain us the visual shape, how you're integrating with the Salesforce and the developer ID?
Yeah, I will show you here.
Oh,
I
okay,
mean,
thank you.
yeah, so basically, whenever you want to use VS Code, I mean, I use VS Code. I mean, there are other developer tools like IntelliJ IDEA and those things you can use. Eclipse used to be supported, but Salesforce stopped Eclipse support in 2019. And all the development that Salesforce is doing, they you can always see their demos using VS Code. I mean, that's the one that I'm using. And so now whenever you want to authenticate any new arc, now we have so this is the command. I mean, this is the easy way to authorize a arc. So here sftx authorize arc, and before that, I mean, you need to install the Salesforce CLI. So first you install that one. I mean, there are other things that you need to do. I mean, if you are interested, I will give you some documentation. So once you have all that set up, just to authorize, I mean, you use that one and you will say, okay, whether it is sandbox or production system. And all the developer tools, I mean, developer arcs that we are using, those are pointing to production. I mean, we talked about those in first class. And so if at all you want to give any name, this is the alias name that you give. And you will say, okay, whatever the name that you want to give. I mean, for us, since it is admin class that we are dealing, for this guy, I named it as SF admin. And I'm just giving SF admin one more thing. When I click that one, basically this is where that auth comes in, and it will launch a page. It will take you to the browser, and it will ask you to authenticate your arc for the first time. So when it came on my other screen, so basically I'm bringing it here. Whatever we did, I mean, not this screen here. So it basically when the command that I used on the VS Code, it it took me to the browser, and it is asking me to enter the username and password. And let's say I pick this username, and this is one time thing. And now, so I mean, all things, I mean, coming together. Now I selected that arc, whatever the same arc, and basically it is pushing an notification to my phone and also my watch, saying, okay, hey, someone is trying to authenticate on your behalf, do you approve? Yeah, on my watch I said, yeah, let it go, and it is me. So that's what I said. And basically that should send that information back to, okay, let's see, it's yeah, I mean, it is going to my phone again. I accepted it. Yeah, so potentially, I mean, without remembering my password, I was able to get in, and I was also able to authenticate my VS Code. So basically now onwards, I don't need to remember this ARC password. I can simply go to my VS Code, and here it will basically get me that SF admin one also. And here. So it actually authenticate that one. Since I use the same name for the arcs, it didn't change the name. Otherwise, it so see here SF admin and SF admin one. Since I use the same username, it basically use that thing with comma. I mean, if I had used other arc with a different username, that would have changed the name also. And from here, I mean, if I simply by clicking this guy next time or tomorrow when I come, and by default it will take me that one. So let's say if I want to pick another arg, so I can simply change it and use that arg. So that's how these things work. Yeah, but I mean, if you're interested, I will send you some documentation, but you need to set up your IDE first, and also you need to install the Salesforce CLI, and then you should be able to use this.
Yes, please, Srikanth. If you have documentation, please send it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
And
send it
I
to
mean, the
Lookup.
way you find all this information, so basically go to salesforce.com, and you will find tools. Yeah, under developer tools, you will find that VS Code extension, and then Salesforce CLI. Actually, on VS Code, there is under extension, you will find the Salesforce, and you have to install that one. And when you install that one, the Salesforce extension, it will bring a lot of them together. So it is a package, and it will bring you support for Apex. It will bring you debugger support, and there is a live debugger and replay debugger. So like the CLI and the lightning components and visual force. So basically it comes with all of this. So you install this guy, and also on your local you have to install the Salesforce CLI. And once you do both of them, so then you should be able to use the commands and stuff.
So Srikanth, I have to get the VS4 first and then install this extension package.
Yeah,
Along
VS
with the
Code is
Apex.
a free one. Yeah,
Okay.
so you should be able to get VS Code for free, and this is Microsoft one. And once you have that, you can install the Salesforce extension, and then you should be able to install the CLI. So basically, if you follow those steps, you should be able to set up.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go back to our requirement. I mean, this is our arc that we were working, and let's go to setup, and let's try to work off of those requirements. So basically what Yuko is saying, so I mean, there is account object, an account object. Let's go back to this guy first, account. And so any account, when we go, there is this rating field. Yeah, so basically this is the rating field, and what she is saying, so this rating field on the account, they don't understand what this means, and that's why she wanted us to change the label of this guy. And so then she wants us to add one more Picklist value here. So right now there is hot, cold, warm, and so she wants us to add one more not known field, so that way they can maintain it. And also she is asking us to give some information on how to use this field. So basically you see here, this is the help information that we can provide to the user how to use that one. So those are the things that they're asking us to do. And if we go back to account, I mean actually here, object manager, and this is the account object. And so here if you go to fields, you will see all the fields of that object. So to find the field, so you can easily search it, and you can go. And these are the fields. Basically we have these 3 fields, and what they are asking us to add a couple of things. One, they wanted us to change the label. We will do that little bit later. and also they want us to add some help text. So basically this one, whatever we do it on description field, this is more of a developer documentation, and the end user won't be able to see it. So basically I say simple description. Basically whatever you want to write, you can write it. And usually you work with business, okay, what kind of meaningful text you want to show. Yeah, I mean, you typically don't write help text. So you save that one, and so basically now they also want us to add one pick list value. So that's the one we'll say not known. So let's add it to all. I mean, we need to ask them, okay, for which record type you want to add, all that stuff. So for now, let's add it for all. So the other requirement that she wants us to do is change the label for custom. I mean, standard fields. The only way to change is by going to this tab and rename tabs and labels. So this is the one you go. And since we want to change for accounts, you just pick the account object, and you just, I mean, even for account, let's say some businesses, they don't want to call account and they want to call something else, business or something, businesses, you can change that one. So yeah, I mean, these are the standard object names. If you want to change the labels, you can change it. But right now we are handling, we are dealing with one of the fields. Let's look at that rating, and she wants us to add prospect rating here. I mean, that's all we do. So basically, the moment we change that one, and all we have to do is save. And now let's go back here and let's reload this page. So now you see, so you can see that this help text that we maintained is here. I mean, whatever the meaningful text that we want to show it for this field, we can show it, and that way they know what it is meant. And also when we go here, and we got that not known field also, I mean, the one of the options. So I mean, those are the changes that she wanted. Yeah, so the account rating field, and also she said, okay, can we restrict this field to only sales reps, and sales operation should be editing, not anybody else. So we did all these things. So I mean, we didn't do this thing. So can anyone say how to do this thing? How to restrict others for that field? So this field right now, even, I mean, as a system admin, I'm able to change it. I mean, right, most probably everyone should be able to change it at the moment. We want to restrict it only so that only sales reps are able to edit.
Is it field level?
Yeah. So it's on the field level security. So it is not a record that they are saying, it is only one of the fields. So yeah, I mean, immediately, so you notice that we change the name, so that earlier it was rating, since we changed it to prospect rating. So you see this guy, and now set field level security. And I mean, this is an easy way to change it. I mean, I gave for everybody access, and I take it from everybody. Otherwise, we have to basically click 10 times. So now with two steps, we were able to remove. And now they said, okay, sales rep, I mean, sales user, and Yeah, I believe we don't have the other user, so we have only one user profile. And so, I mean, not even for system admin, we are saying, okay, you can't see it. So, I mean, for the sake of showing, I mean, if I take it out, these guys can't even see. As a system admin, I can't even see the field. That's why I'm just giving. And yeah, let's make this as a read-only field for me and save it. So now sales users can be able to edit it. And even though I'm a powerful guy, system admin, I giving myself less access on this field. So okay, yeah, maybe because I'm system admin that is giving me the access. Let's log in as one of the real users, and let's try to check the field level. So access for that field. So let's go to some, maybe let's go to executive user. So we know executive user, Alison Wheeler is there. So let's go to Alison. So we logged in as Alison. Now let's go to the same account. Yeah, so that user immediately, so she can't even see that field. I mean, we could have made the profile access display only or read only. So that time, so the user can see the field, but not able to edit it. So that's how we can control the field, I mean, on the field level, whether a user should be able to edit or not. And even though, I mean, if you see this user, Allison, so should be above the role hierarchy of the account owner, Phil Smith, should be reporting to somebody, and that somebody should be reporting to Allison. But even though the Allison is way up the hierarchy, because we controlled on the field level, the user, I mean, the user can see the record, but not the field. So those are the things we can control. So US sales rep and Allison is somewhere. Basically, there is a director, and after the director, so there is Allison here. I mean, even though the user is on the hierarchy in the same above, but the user is not able to edit. But sales rep has Phil Smith, so he should be able to change the field value. Any questions there? Yeah, these things you would be typically doing in daily work. I mean, if you are in the build team, potentially you would be developing these kind of requirements frequently.
So,
Karthik, you want something? Yeah, I mean, similarly, basically, so Noah is asking, my support team need to be able to track which customers have support plan and when it is expiring. And could we create some new custom fields on account object? I mean, here if you see, account is a standard object. I mean, earlier.
hey, sorry. Srikant, so basically, the field level security will override whatever they set it on to level, always.
I can't hear you well, Karthik.
Oh, sorry.
One second. I mean, if you want, you can put it in chat also.
Oh, sorry, Srikanth, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So the question is, the field level security always overrides the road level hierarchy, whatever we said, right?
Yeah, I mean, even though the user is above the hierarchy, it all depends on the profile and permission set for that user, whether the user has access. The role hierarchy mostly control the record access, but not the field level security.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, here, so similar things. So, I mean, we handled a standard object, standard field in the previous one. Now the user is asking, okay, hey, I want you to create a custom fields on the standard object. And so basically he wants a checkbox field saying, okay, whether a customer has support plan and also when it is expires. Basically, he wants to capture the support plan expiry date and whether a user has, whether a customer has it or not. So again, go back to the same thing. See if I am logged in as Alison. Yeah, same place. So when we create any custom fields, so Salesforce offers these kind of different fields, and you can maintain a checkbox. This is a true or false radio button kind of thing, and or checkbox. Okay, so I mean this is not a radio button. This is kind of checkbox where you can flag it for true or false, and the currency field if you want to capture that one. And I mean all this whatever that field does, so you can see some extra information here. And if you want to capture date, there is a field. If you want to capture date and also time, so there is a field. And whether you want to capture email field, geolocation is if you want to capture the location information. Now latitude longitude information is a combo. If you want, you can enter you can use that field. And obviously the integer field, they call it as number field. And when you are creating that number field, basically you can enter decimal places to make it as a floating. And the percentage thing and phone number. I mean, the advantage with these data types, if you want to capture a phone number, so you can enter, you can also use the text field. But the problem is it won't the format and also it won't come by default, whereas if you use phone, so it gives you the format and all. So the pick list, we have seen this guy. If you want to restrict the user, or if you want to allow the user only to select certain field values, you can use that one. And so if you want user to, I mean, with pick list, you can only select one value at a time for a record. But if you want to select multiple values, multiple options for a record, so basically you can select that. You can use this guy. And obviously text area. So if you want to have little long text, you can use this guy. And when you are selecting these, you may need to enter what is the length of the field, whether it is 20 character, 30 character kind of thing. And if you want little longer text, you can use this long area text. And if you want to support some HTML, all that stuff, basically you have to use this rich text. And again, so if you want to allow any password kind of field, social security kind of thing, so you use this encrypted one. Once you enter, basically if the system knows it, you won't be able to see what the value is, but you can still use it. And so this guy is date and time, and this one is just time. And if you want to capture any URL, so you use that. And these are the relationship basically to link one object to another object. So there is this lookup relationship, and Salesforce also has something like, okay, where if you have some data in other systems, and at runtime you can render that information. So for that you use this external lookup, and there is external objects that you need to create for all these things. And auto number. So if you want to generate a series of number like okay, whenever I want to create account, it should start with A-001, that kind of thing. You can use this auto number. And formula field is one where if you want to get some information, you want to show some information based on something else, you typically use this guy. And roll up summary, if you want to calculate, okay, how many number of opportunities this account has. I mean, this one works only for master detailed relationship, and you basically count how many opportunities are there, or how much total volume on the all opportunities for this account kind of thing. If you want those kind of thing, you typically use this roll up summary. So for now, so they want us to create a checkbox field on account. So let's go ahead and select this checkbox, and support plan. Or maybe let's call this one as support plan exist. And so by default, whether you want to check this field or you want to leave it unchecked, so that user can select this thing. And also here they are saying, okay, add it to the reports when you are writing reports, whether you want this field to be added to the standard ones and all. So that's the checkbox. And by default, let's give all profiles this access. And let's say, and it is going to ask you whether you want to add it to the layout. So they also ask us to add expiration date of the support plan. So for that, let's use the date field. So and same thing, basically we give access to all profiles, and we added to the account layout. Now if we go back and just reload the page, yeah, so these fields came. Basically this is the checkbox field, and so you can, I mean, user can select, and also basically user can select the date. I mean, this is the advantage with standard date fields and phone fields, and automatically it will give you all this selection without you writing any code to bring all these things. And I mean, this is the phone thing. I mean, when you save it, I think. So yeah, we saved that record, and also, I mean, some of these, if the company has any CTI information and all, you can simply by clicking a phone number, you can make calls and all. So I mean, those are some things that by default that came. And if it is URL field, basically you can launch the URL just by clicking on that. Those are simple advantages with standard fields. If you create text field, I mean, you can bring that functionality. So let's go back. Any questions there? I think very straightforward. And all these things immediately, if you see on your phone, because it is a standard page layout, you would be able to see it on the phone also. So now, I mean, there are more requirements here on the bottom here. For reporting purposes, I would like to know the reasons why opportunities have been won or lost. Could we create a new opportunity field to allow sales rep to record these possible results? So basically, I mean, we worked on account object. Now she is asking on the opportunity object. On the opportunity object, when we close any opportunity, so she wants us to capture why we lost that opportunity, or when we won the opportunity, So basically, I mean, how we want that thing, whether because of price, reduced price that we are giving, or the differentiated services that our products are offering, or basically any reason. Basically, she wants to capture that information. Same thing that like we did here, we are, I mean, the only difference is you would select a pick list field when you are creating the field, and that's how you give that option. I mean, I don't, hopefully you should be able to do this thing by yourself. I'm not going to do it now. Should be very straightforward. And the only thing is when you are giving these options, you can simply copy all this and you can put it there. Same thing here. So Yuko is asking one more thing. My sales operations team categorizes customer accounts by region, US, EMEA, the LATAM, APAC, Canada, and then by zone within each region. So could we have new fields to capture this information? So, I mean, she's asking, okay, there is a multiple regions underneath that there are zones, and the APAC basically East Asia, Oceania, Southeast Asia, and on Europe there are other options. Basically, they want this differentiated information so that they can capture account information and they can categorize those accounts properly. And let's look at this one. I mean, this one will explain the pick list values, and also it will explain some dependent pick list values. When they select APAC, they only want you to give this option. When you select EMEA, so they only, I mean, if you can give only these options on the other field, that is easy for them. So that's what they are asking. And yeah, we can come back to this guy a little bit. So again on the account, so they want us to create a region and zone, two fields. So now we are going to pick the pick list value here. So our one account can be part of only one region. So that's why we are selecting that, and we'll select region. And let's go back to the requirement. I think I need to grab those values from Yuko. So let's go back to chatter here. So let's see if there is an easy. Yeah, we need to pick APAC. So these are the various values. Basically, this is how you create a pick list value. You give this guy, and immediately you want EMEA. And the way you enter pick list values one by one. So basically, you just go to the next line. Okay. So those are the regions. So basically, there are 5 regions. We'll create those regions. And also, I mean, just to let you know, so even with the APIs from user interface, when you are entering, so you can only you can only able to select these guys. But when you are using API, you can enter whatever the value you want. So if you want to control that behavior, you select this restrict pick list values. So then, I mean, this checkbox will control whatever the value that goes into this field. And I mean, even with the API, you should not be able to enter some other value. That's the importance of this guy. And also, I mean, while you are rendering the fields, how you want to show this information. Let's say by default, most of the time your region is US. And if you want to enter US as first one, so basically you give that one as first and you say, let it go. That way you can control. And let's say if you enter this one in zigzag fashion, and if you want to sort them, then you can select this guy. And now we select US as top, and we give field level security for all the fields for now, and we save this guy, and it is added to the account layout. So they also want us to add one more field, the zone field. Yeah, should be very straightforward one. This time I select all of these. Then I remove. Yeah, so those should be good. I mean, if you see, basically I gave all the values, and it is the user that have to remember, okay, which one goes where. So now let's go back to account one more time, and let's see how that is going to render. Let's say we pick this guy, House Central. We know this is a US account, and so sometimes it doesn't render because of cache issues and all. Let's see. When you refresh it, it will come. But if not, maybe we need to clear cache and try to get it. Let's see if we can. Yeah. So now we see this region fields. So we know, I mean, this account is in Atlanta. I mean, the user can go enter this region information, select basically US. And now basically you see, I mean, there are a lot of options that came. I mean, the user has to remember, okay, which one goes in where kind of thing. I mean, otherwise it is little overwhelming information that user is seeing, and we need to somehow control this behavior. And if it is US only, show the US related ones. If it is Canada, show only the US, I mean, Canada related ones. So that's the next thing that we need to do. So let's go back. So Salesforce has something called dependent fields, field dependencies, and you go, you create that relationship between those fields. So the controlling field is region, and we select, okay, the zone is the dependent field. And when we go here, so this is where it will show, okay, what are all the options. So for US, we know, I mean, there is this, so I mean, if you hold your control key, I mean, this is mostly, you should be able to do better in desktop. So for US, we are selecting we selected all the US ones, and we say input values, and that will basically select it. I mean, you see the color coding is changing. And now if I want to select some fields for Asia Pacific, so we select those three. I believe those are the three. And once we select those, we say, okay, confirm that one. And now for EMEA, so East Asia, Oceania, South Asia, that's good. So EMEA, so okay, Europe, UK, yeah, Caribbean is not. And now for other one, Latin America. I mean, I hope you understand the concept here. So we are selecting for different countries, different values. Latin America is Caribbean, Central America, South Africa. And for Canada, I believe these guys. Yeah. And also, I mean, when you know, okay, if you just want confirmation, you just go here. It will bring you a screen, and you can select this guy and see, okay, whether these are correct, this is correct or not. I mean, simple admin thing. You can just confirm it and see whether it is going to render properly or not. So let's save this guy. And now if we go back, just reload the page. And now again we select US here. Okay, I think again the buffer issue. Yes. Yeah, I think again we have this buffer issue. Let's see if we can close it. But ideally, I mean, that would reduce the values that we are seeing on the screen. Let's try to. Yeah, so I see that it is working now. So now we select US. I mean, earlier it was not even showing that option. So now the moment we select US, and it is only showing that sublist. And now we say APAC, and it will basically select, I mean, let's say we save it. And if at all we change this guy to US, and automatically the zone field has been removed, and it is asking you to select which account, which region, or which zones. I mean, that's how you maintain a little bit of field integrity by bringing this dependent pick list and also the pick list values. Are we good so far? Or any questions? So I have, I mean, the next one. So the Nova is asking, I have a couple of requests. Support reps that are away from office, designate a backup support rep to handle the case for them. We would like to be able to capture the name of the backup rep on the cases. Basically, whenever a support representative is leaving the company or maybe going on vacation, they want a backup. and they want us to add a field on the case to designate another user for that case when this user is on options. Anyone can, can anyone say how we can resolve this thing? How to go about this thing? The first one.
Share access to the record?
No, we want not only sharing. So here, we are talking about the object fields and those stuff. Can you think from that line? Yeah, that is also one way to do, but they want to capture on the case itself. Let's say, if we do the way you are saying, they have to go into the record, go inside, to sharing tab, and maybe they have to find that information. Let's say they are on the list views or report, and if they want to see this information, how do you solve? And we are talking about fields. Yeah, potentially the way we solve these things is by creating a field on the case object. This time we select a lookup relationship. And when we say lookup relationship, we have to say which object you are referring to. And for the internal people, so that is the user object. So you create an object, field, and the one you call that one as a backup support rep. And when you are creating the field, you select the data type as lookup, and when you then you use the user object. So that's how you would do. Please give it a try. You should be able to add a field on the case object and give access to that field, pretty much all the users for now. New cases should always be associated to an account record and a contact record. However, support reps sometimes mistakenly select a contact from unrelated account. Is there a way? Is there any way of preventing this one? So what they are saying, so when users are creating account, case, they select one contact and they select another account and they are not related. So they want us to make allow only related account contact as a combo to be on the case. These are very common requirements that business would ask. So there is another concept in Salesforce to control which field goes into which value. For Picklist values, we have seen, okay, we can select from the given values. That's how we select. But this is a lookup field. Let's go back and look at the contact, case. So here. Yeah, let's open one account, one case. So there are details here. And here there is this contact Owen, and the account is Universal Motors. So basically this contact is part of that account. We can see that right here. But what if let's say I don't have this, I delete this guy and I want to enter the CAMP Industries. System is still allowing us to do those kind of things. And also, especially when we're creating a new case, and if they don't care what is going into which field, and typically, so since I am on this one, Arnold Adams, I select, and I go here, I select some account. These two are not related, and we are still entering that. This is where business is asking, whatever the combo that you are entering, so those should be related. So that's the one that they're asking. So again, so we start, always we start with object, whatever that they are saying. So in this case, now we have to go to case. And now this account and contact objects are standard objects. Basically this one lookup relationship. This is the one, and the contact should be somewhere over there. So now we have two options, whether we can put in a control on account. I mean, obviously, account from contact is kind of related to account. I mean, parent relationship, parent to child to parent, and typically you would put in these kind of things on the child. And so from the child, you can say, okay, what is its parent kind of thing. That's where this lookup filter. Now what we are saying, so we have contact, I mean a case, and on the case we have account and contact fields. When we are entering contact, we need to make sure it is related to the account. So that's the thing that we are saying here. And on the, even though it is a standard object and standard field, we can still do some setting control. So basically we say case and account ID, case account ID equals to field and case so we are on a contact field. We need to make sure whatever goes into case field is related to account field. Current record. Okay, so basically we go here. I mean, this is the first one we selected on the left hand side case. Let's do this thing. From case, we said, okay, case account ID. That's what I selected here. And it says equals to and field. And again, we look at this guy. So this time we look at relationship. And we are on case. Okay, so yeah, since we are looking at contact and this guy and this one. So basically, now we are saying we are going to a relationship. We are on a contact field. Whatever going is contact, the relationship should be the case account ID and the contact name and account ID should be matching. That's what we are saying. And let's save this guy. And now let's go back to the same record that we created. Yeah, so here, I mean, immediately earlier we were able to enter the value, Arnold, Adam, and this account. So we selected Cooper. So we need to see what is the allowed combo for this guy. So let's see Cooper account once. And let's find some contact on that one. So there is Charlie. So let's bring this screen back. Right. That's good. Yeah, I may have done a little wrong on the formula that I did. I'm just checking. Yeah. I think I'm going to one more parent relationship. Let's see, this should work. Yeah, so now, I mean, we are able to find the field, the contact Charlie, which is related to that account for Cooper. And if we save it, so it will let you save it. I mean, if you try to enter something else, I mean, now it won't even allow you to enter something that is not related. So that's how you build the relationship and also make the data integrity little better. And I mean, yeah, so it will only allow the combo information that we set up from the backend.
When the filter is in place, you can still create a new contact for that account, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you create a contact here, so let's say if you want to create a new contact, yeah, you should be able to create. If you don't find any new contact, let's say you don't want to link Charlie, but you want to create another contact. And at that time, so since you start from account, I mean, case, it won't default to that account for you. And unless until you enter Cooper, so then only, I mean, it will, you will be able to link this contact to this case. So let's say if we try to create John, and so let's say I select AMP Industries. I mean, I'm not giving the same account. I create this contact, and that comes here. And when I try to save it, so again, so it will throw error saying, okay, hey, this John is not related to that account. And also, I mean, this one we did not configure this properly, and we have to give why it is not a matched combo. So if we go back here, so here the default value, whatever that is showing on the filter, so value doesn't exist or doesn't match the criteria. So so here potentially please enter a related contact for the selected account. So let's say if we say that the user will understand why that one is throwing error. So now if we go back, let's see if that takes it. Yeah, so immediately it will give you a meaningful information. So why that is not allowing. And I mean, these things, we have to be very careful when we do these things. I mean, right now it is stopping the user from the UI. So, I mean, because we put it on the backend setting, It will also stop any integration. So let's say if a case is you want to create a case, and if that case when it is coming, so it is trying to create a relationship between a contact and account that are not matched, and if we are trying to create a case, immediately that case creation will fail. And we need to understand from business, we need to ask those questions. Okay, hey, do you want this to be stopped only for the users that are using in the user interface, or you want to stop for the integrations as well? I mean, ideally, it is not a good idea to stop for integrations. So that's when you have to put in some more conditions saying, okay, whether it is applicable for every scenario, or you want to apply this one for, you want to give little leverage, basically. If the profile is not, I mean, usually for integration users, we create a different profile, or maybe we know which user it is creating those records. At that time, we say, okay, hey, not for this user, but for only those kind of thing. Those are the things that we can put in control. Current user, and let's say profile. So are not equals to, let's say our profile equals to, let's say for now we will say system admin. Let's say
So you wanted the use case is like this filter should only apply for a certain.
yeah. So I mean, that's better way. Otherwise, it will fail everybody. So whether it is integration user or maybe even some batch process you want to stop. And right now, we don't know whether the existing data, whether they have properly related account and contacts combo is maintained. So let's say if you have a batch process that you need to run and you need to close some cases that are not touched in the last 1 year, and because of this filter is introduced just now, and you have no idea how the data was maintained in the last 1 year, and immediately you are stopping all those batch jobs to fail because of one small setting that we are introducing. And those are the things we need to be very we should be aware of, and so that we design the system properly. Otherwise, your positive testing, you say, okay, you make this filter setting, and let's say the QA test, whoever is testing, just testing for new records, and he or she will go try to create this combo, and they fail it, and they say, yeah, as per that requirement, everything is working fine, and they move it to production. And immediately when the batch job runs on the night, that will fail. And let's say if there is a integration that is going to create the test case, I mean the cases, let's say web to lead or some other thing, or email to cases. So all those will fail immediately, and that becomes a bigger production issue, and because of something that you are not aware of the thing. I mean, that's where the experience would come in. You have to think through different angles. I mean, what if a small change that we are doing is going to affect the entire system? So, I think we covered this guy. And I think if we do this thing, I guess it will be over. Let's see. And page layouts, I think we are clear on the page layouts. We can change the field positions and all. Let's see. Are we okay for a few more minutes?
We take it in the next class.
Yeah, I mean, we can go to the next class. I mean, what is the plan? So for me, what I'm thinking, so in the next, I'm trying to see if we can wrap it up in the next 4 classes or 5 classes. And let me actually get this. So before Thanksgiving, if we can finish the admin training, I think that would be good idea. I'm hoping we should be able to complete it. If not, we can always extend. I'm hoping we should be able to complete the dev training part. I mean, at least whatever. I mean, I was thinking when we start this one, so I always was following this one. So we are right here, object customization. When we are halfway through, we covered all these things, and we are at the formula fields right here. Once we create this guy, so basically we will do the managing data, and then we play with the reports, and so yeah, we'll be left with these things. I mean, hopefully next class we should be able to complete these formulas and page layouts, record types, and I'm hoping maybe we can even jump into this data loader part, and then the reports, automation, and support process. So by next, I mean, today is Sunday. By next Tuesday, we will have 4 more classes. Hopefully, we should be able to complete this one, and maybe after that, maybe I want you to do some projects. Then I believe at least you should be able to take the certification if you want, and then maybe if once you do the exercises that I am asking you to do, you should be able to attend interviews also all by yourself. All right, so let's meet on next class. So I mean, I will try to send some exercises, and please try to follow. And everything is important. So hopefully, I mean, you will see a lot of value in extending these fields, objects, and maybe sometimes you may have to create new objects also. If I have something, I will send exercises for the new object also. Right, I think we can end the call. So, sorry.
Srikanth, like if you have to take certification, right? Is there any material that you would suggest? Like,
I mean, I would go just with this thing. I mean, the what they are saying here, basically, this is the uh, exam material kind of thing. I mean, this is the class that they would go through, even if you want to take the certification. And I believe Dipti or somebody there, someone asked Dipti, you did the certification already. Typically, when you go to certification, so you would look at this guy certification, and I mean there are quite a lot that they ask you to do. And if you go to the admin, I mean let's say administrator, and this is where they say what all you want to do for certification. For let's say if you want to take admin certification, and they expect you to do these trial mixes. And once you do this trial mix, I mean you see here there is about 44 hour material that they want you to cover. And once you do this thing, I'm pretty sure you should be able to handle the certification without any problem. I mean, just take this guy, just follow it and see how much left over. Even for me, even looks like there is 29 hour leftover thing that I didn't do. And basically just go through all this. I mean, some of these we already covered. And you, I mean, if you just, let me actually ping it, the thing. And you can see that you already completed some of this already. And if there is anything that is left over, I mean, just follow those modules and maybe any projects that they are asking you to do. And I'm pretty sure you should be able to handle the certification. I mean, this is how I followed. And obviously, I mean, I will go through, I will give you little other things that typically we do. But I mean, the certification is not only just for the sake of certification. That's how I see it. I mean, you need to be ready for interview. For that sake, you need to study quite a bit. And I mean, the other one that I use, there is this Quizlet thing. some of these flashcards, I mean, once I complete this thing, I also go to here and try to find some admin Salesforce thing, and typically you find a lot of material here. I mean, some of them are even the same exact questions that come from certifications. I mean, they kind of put some dumps also there, and you may be able to find some dumps outside also. I mean, those things will definitely help. But I mean, since the objective is to learn, I would say go through these. And maybe once you are ready, I would say go through these quiz a little bit. And I mean, I would say at last option for you is, I mean, if you find some certification dumps, take it. But there is no guarantee that you would get same questions.
Thank you.
And same thing for any other course, basically for any certification that you want to take, they have given very clear-cut things, what you should be doing and all. So even for a developer, if you want to do, so there will be some, just go here, find whatever the certification that you want to do. And so they will clearly tell you what you should be doing in order to pass that certification. Yeah, the trial mix is the ultimate one. Just find the trial mix, just go to just try to follow all those things, and I'm sure you'll be able to successfully complete. And sometimes, I mean, obviously I fail some tests for sure. I mean, that helps. I mean, next time you prepare.
But Shri can say, if you're going through this developer course, right, like whatever you have in this trial mix, is that in a sequence? Like, if you have to follow through, can you follow through this?
Yeah, you should be able to follow everything. So all these things, I actually they put it in the order most of the time, and sometimes it is not even related content. So if you go to this guy, sometimes some things you can do without doing the previous one, but if you do it in the order, it's better.
Okay.
So basically here they say platform basics, how you can create users, user management. I mean, quite elaborative. Maybe we may have covered some of these, and some of them we may not have covered in the class. But I mean, now they are talking about the org. So we started with org, and then we go to the user. That's how I did the course. But here they give the order as users and then org. And basically now there is, I mean, we did a little bit of single sign-on and MFA, and here they may have gone little elaborate stuff. And they're talking about object access and permission sets, permission set groups. And this is the YouTube link I think I gave you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, read through this, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, it is going to be helpful.
Thanks.
Right. Okay, we can catch up in the next class. Thank you.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night.